This is the world's smallest Rubik's Cube, and I'm gonna learn to solve this blindfolded. A couple of weeks ago, I saw this cube being solved on the internet, and that reminded me when I saw a video of this dude solving a normal 3x3 blindfolded. And that got me thinking, how hard would it be to solve the world's tiniest Rubik's Cube and then combine it with the blindfold? So here's my plan. I already know how to solve a normal Rubik's Cube. 28 seconds. So what I have to do is solving the tiny cube first, then learn how to solve the normal 3x3 blindfolded, and lastly combine the two at the end. So let's start with solving the world's smallest Rubik's Cube. But before we start, this is actually not the world's smallest Rubik's Cube, because this is. It's built by the YouTuber Tony Fischer, and it's only 5.6 millimeters. So why don't I solve that instead? Well, this cube is not for sale, and I don't want to build myself a cube like this, because the cube I bought is still pretty frigging small. I can't even... It's only 1 centimeter. So, anyways, let's go. Ritchi, what the hell, man? What's happening? This cube is not like a speed cube that's easy and fast to turn. You have to line up the cube perfectly for it to turn, otherwise you can't turn it. And this becomes a problem because I keep forgetting what algorithms I was doing since I'm solving it so slowly. On a normal cube I could easily do the algorithms without even thinking. So I took the help of my normal Rubik's Cube to help me remember the correct algorithms on the tiny cube. And while solving the tiny cube I was getting pretty sore here in my hand because it's so tiny. But after 50 minutes of turning and twisting, I solved it. Yes! I did it finally. It took me 26 minutes and 27 seconds. Which means now I'm gonna solve this with a blindfold. I never solved a cube blindfolded, so... I began by, of course, watching a tutorial. Learning to solve the cube blindfolded is easier than you might think. Did you hear that? Easier than you might think. Oh, maybe I can do this, man. Maybe I can do this, man. Oh, you don't even know, man. I watched the tutorial, but I didn't understand that much. But I managed to solve some pieces. And then I gave up. I don't know, man. Because the method I'll be using is called the old Pokemon method. And it's completely different from solving the normal Rubik's Cube. Instead of solving it layer by layer, you solve all the edges forming crosses on the cube. And then you solve the corner pieces, while doing it blindfolded. And you do this by memorizing these letters on the cube, where each spot on the cube has its own. So for example, starting at letter B needs to go to G, and G needs to go to I, and I need to go to the bathroom. No, I need to go to E. And so on. You'll also do this for the corner pieces until you have a sequence of letters which you can memorize with a story in your head to make it easier to remember. After that, you'll take on your blindfold and do algorithm swapping the pieces according to the story you remembered, and hopefully it should be done. Just to clarify, an algorithm is a set of moves so you can swap pieces and solve pieces on the cube. The next day I watched a bunch of tutorials with absolute focus and presence to solidify my knowledge until I passed out. But now, I need to get into practicing. R-U-R. I'm not gonna like this, but let's go! J-I-L-K-J-I-L-Q-S-T-R-M-P-O. What the fuck, man? I did one solve where I wrote down the answer and solved it without blindfold. It's solved! And then later I progressed to solving it blindfolded. But I still wrote down the secret code beforehand on a piece of paper to make it much easier to come up and memorize a story before I put on the blindfold. So this doesn't count. But I nearly solved it, which made me pretty happy. It's nearly solved though! Because it showed me that this might not be impossible after all. But now, for a real blind solve. I need to remember the story in my head as I go, while keeping track of which pieces I have already solved and which needs to be solved, without having the piece of paper as handicap. And this was the absolute hardest part, solving the cube in your head before you even start to solve it. It feels like you're keeping track of 3 things simultaneously. So this took me about 30 to 40 minutes to memorize this cube and story in my head. Here's the K-pop helicopter. I go up and take the Gatorade. I TKO the Gatorade and it spills onto my DLC of Super Smash Bros. Where I have Falcon, which does Falcon Punch in a Goomba and he feels the extra velocity, and later the Goomba is gonna become barbecue! Goodbye! Oh, fuck. Okay. Now I only had to execute the secret code. That's hopefully correct. And on top of that, don't mess anything up. Fuck! I forgot how to do the algorithm. So I tried again, knowing that this won't be as easy as the tutorial said it was going to be. So first I have a CD, I put on the UV glasses, headshot, nothing, CV, donkey song, long dick.
What?
It's not solved, man. What the hell, bro? One more time. NUFT. Extra ice on his ball. W. A, B, C, D. Da, da. Oh my god, what the hell, man? I have to do this tomorrow. I know, this is the day I will solve it blindfolded. I have this, I know, this is already solved. H with the video, U, V. A, B. T series, M, T. C, A, B, C. Fuck. My hands are shaking. Because I spent 46 minutes on this. And I'm gonna solve a small little Rubik's Cube also. My heart is beating. I had to take a break. So then after some running and eating, my brain felt supercharged. I felt like Super Saiyan, like, yo, let's go. So I remembered the cube again. Internet Explorer, Gorilla Curry, XQD, hot sauce. Put on the blindfold. I failed so many times, but I don't know if this will be the one. If this is not the one, I have to try again. L, H, A, U, X, P, N, E, I, H, K. And be there. No! No! I did it now! I did it now! Shit! I did it now! Oh, det var cringe! Oh, det var cringe! Oh, shit! Okay, let's go to the next one. From solving the tiny cube normally and completing a solve blindfolded on the normal 3x3, we have arrived to the tiny 1x1 centimeter Rubik's Cube. This will not get any easier. It will take longer time to memorize because I can't put my fingers on the pieces to keep track of which ones I have solved and which ones I have not solved. It will take even longer time to turn the cube, and which will mean it will be even more painful if I fail. So I made sure to practice the algorithms and complete one solve without the blindfold. And now, it's go time. The memorization wasn't that bad actually, because I practiced the normal 3x3, so it was then easier to memorize where the pieces were in my head. Go to the bathroom, go out, and I win a pair of jeans from JC. But it took me 40 minutes to remember. And compare that to the normal 3x3 blindfolded, it took me 40 minutes to solve the 3x3. As I was about to put on my blindfold, I was confident that the memorization was correct and that I needed to trust my capabilities. Don't think about it, just do it. So to solve the cube, I only focused on the next step, the next turn, and then taking breaks to blow on my fingers and cube. Because it was getting so sweaty. Doubts kept creeping in saying, if you make one move wrong, you have to do this all over again. Don't think about that. I need to think about this. The more I focused on each and every single step of the process, the more I was confident. We don't need to rush, we just need to do it right. The last couple of turns, I needed to become even more focused and relaxed, which could lead to a tiny misstep, or in worst case, the secret code I have memorized was finally coming to an end. And I did the final turn. Bum, bum. And now it's solved. What the hell? Oh, okay, so we're so bright, man. Yo, first try, man. First try. What the? I thought I did something wrong, man. Well, this was easier than I can see anything. I actually did it.